Hey everyone, Brian Zane here. This week I'm debuting a brand new collaborative series in which I debate big issues in wrestling with some of my fellow wrestling YouTubers. We each post our side of the debate on our respective channels. You hopefully watch both sides. Let us know where you sit on the issue and tell us who delivered the stronger argument. On this inaugural edition of the Great Wrestling Debate, I'm partnering with Dave from Dave Knows Wrestling. We're looking at the question, what obligation does the WWE fan base have to know a wrestler's backstory? Basically the issue is, should we as fans do our own homework and figure out all there is to know about wrestlers in advance, then let WWE finish the sentence? Or is it up to the company to paint the picture for us? For the purpose of this debate, I'm taking the side of WWE should take responsibility, while Dave is arguing for the fans should take responsibility. Now keep in mind, our job here is simply to give you our side of the debate. Whether or not we actually believe in this side is irrelevant. All we need to do is try to convince you that our side is the correct one. In my opinion, WWE owes it to their viewers to provide an honest, as complete as legally and logically possible backstory for their wrestlers. I've come up with three main reasons as to why it isn't necessarily the fans' responsibility to do all the homework. First of all, the most important reason is the biggest piece of the puzzle when it comes to storytelling, why we should care. By that I mean it's WWE's responsibility to let us know what makes these wrestlers tick. The who, the what, and most importantly, the why. Why these guys wrestle, why they do what they do, what their motive is, and what series of events brought them to WWE in the first place. Providing this much needed context for wrestlers can go a long way in helping to legitimize them in the eyes of fans who might not know much about them. Assuming their character stays relatively the same, if a wrestler goes from one company to WWE, they absolutely should celebrate their prior accomplishments. It lends instant credibility to them. I've never believed in the idea of ignoring a wrestler and their past if it happens somewhere else. I mean, they're here now, and to WWE and the fans, isn't that all that matters? It may be an extreme example, but look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. His entire narrative in the WWF was built on the back of being mistreated in WCW. They used his past as justification for his actions in the present. Over on NXT, they're already doing some of that character building. Guys like Roderick Strong and TM61 have gotten some in-depth, multi-part mini-documentaries about them, their past, and what ultimately brought them to WWE. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to get that kind of treatment, but other things like vignettes that are scripted can be another helpful tool for fans to get to better know their stars. Second, we live in an era where many wrestling fans already know everything about everybody. A time where WWE is under intense scrutiny for every perceived slight they commit. When they make stuff up, or gloss things over, or just change the story for wrestlers, fans know, and they will pounce on that and hold the company accountable. Though they have a rich history of being guilty of this in the past, it's in the company's best interest to avoid using revisionist history to bend, overlook, or omit key points about a wrestler's career. Even though there's no real obligation for them to do so, keeping themselves honest can save them the embarrassment later. Now, historically, when a wrestler jumps from a different company and shows up with a radically different gimmick, it's understandable to gloss over the truth now and then, but in some cases, exploring that past can be an asset. Case in point, in 1996, when Mick Foley came to the WWF, they ran a series of promo packages that showed how Cactus Jack morphed into the sadistic Mankind. They had their cake and ate it too. They gave Foley legitimacy by talking about how tough he was in Japan and WCW, while they got the fans more invested in the character they themselves created. Finally, providing a well-rounded, positive backstory can give the fans a jumping-off point to do more research on a wrestler on their own. Now, you might think this smacks in the face of the company's apparent goal to blind the fans from any other kind of wrestling, but hear me out. Assuming the company's already spent time building up a wrestler's past, fans might go back and look at their work. Now, worst case scenario, those fans will like what they see in the other companies and stop watching WWE. But here's the thing, all that great footage of the wrestler they're talking about, well, it's in the past. They're not going back there for a while, if ever. So if you like this wrestler and you want to see them continue to grow and hopefully succeed, the only place you can watch them in action is in WWE. Seeing that back catalog can make fans more invested in the wrestlers and will hopefully compel them to watch more WWE to help support them in their careers. And best case scenario, they're watching WWE and the other stuff, so everyone wins. Also, I know that Dave mentioned in his video that a better educated fan base would be able to help direct ex-WWE guys to companies they should go to, but believe me, the wrestling world is pretty tight-knit. They already know where to go. In summation, we know that WWE is not perfect when it comes to character building or retelling history, but history has shown that providing an honest background and context to a wrestler's character can help fans get more invested in the stars. It satisfies the hardcore fans who already know everything about a wrestler before they got signed, and it better informs a general audience about who they should be getting behind. Contrary to popular belief in WWE, it's good business, to be honest. Well, that's my side of the debate. If you want to hear what Dave has to say about the issue, check out his channel at Dave Knows Wrestling. I posted the link to his video in the description below and also in the iCard in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Tell us where you stand on this issue. Who do you think won this debate? And also, what future topics do you want to see me discuss with other wrestling YouTubers? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.